Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Okay, I want to talk really today about 5 tips on how to find a job when it's a tough job market, when big tech's laying off, and when it seems like everyone is getting rid of people and no one is hiring. So let's go back to the research and what is proven to work today. Now, I'm coming like multiple platforms today. It's been a long time since I've been live on everything. But where did this come from? Well, I was on Business Insider this last week and I was on the front page of the career section for this topic because Business Insider came to me and they said, we really need some help because we see the market is shifting. And can you give us some guidance? Can you write an article? And so here we are. I'm going to go deep into these 5 tips. But if you are joining me live, go ahead and say hi. Let me know where you're joining me from. Where are you? Who are you? Sometimes I can't see the name is. Somebody saying hi, Lindsay. So hi, Lindsay. Hi back. It says Facebook user. Sometimes you have to click. I'm using something called StreamYard, and so it broadcasts. Tell me who is saying hi. Now, if you're live, say hi so I can say hi back to you because I'm here to answer some questions. And the second thing is, oh, it's Ron. Hello, Ron. How are you doing? I'm so glad to see you. I guess. And the second thing that if you are watching the replay, good on you. Hashtag team replay. I do look at these comments. I do look and see. LinkedIn doesn't let me always respond, but on multiple platforms, I can usually do it. So let's jump into these 5 tips because I committed last week to showing up for you guys and we're taking that pretty seriously. So now that this article has been released, I want to talk to you about how do you stay ahead of the curve? How do you find a job in a really competitive market? Okay, so the first rule of engagement is you need to forget cold applying to jobs. Now, when I say that, cold applying is I search, I go on to Indeed or LinkedIn or Google or insert your platform of choice, and I am just going to submit my resume to that job opening and hope it works out. We call this the search, apply, pray methodology, and it is the fastest train to job searching depression because it works. What the from a confidential RPO, greetings from a confidential RPO. I'm not sure who it is, but thank you for tuning in, confidential RPO person. So hi, Lavella, I can see you. Great. So it works less than 1% of the time to just go and apply online. Okay. And these, if you go check out the link I have in my bio, I talk to you about how to create a resume that's 6-figure worthy. So how do you land your first or your next 6-figure job? Inside of that, I'm actually going to be sending out this article. So if you want to get access to that, because Business Insider put it behind a paywall, I will send it to you. But every single one of these things I'm telling you is proof because I have done it and the research behind it. Okay. So first, forget a cold applying. Okay. We call it the spray and pray approach in recruiting. And so this year, competition is going to be stiffer. It means you need to get creative. You need to think differently about your job search approach. And if you do that, that means you're not going to behave like the millions of other people who are out there searching. I want you to think about what do I do to move ahead? And the more that you stand apart from the crowd and take a different pathway, the more likely you are to have success. A lot of people, I like to ask them, do you want a life like everyone else? And most people are like, no, I want a life that's extraordinary. Well, then the first behavior you have to stop is stop acting like everybody else. Okay. So no cold applying. The second thing is that metrics are crucial to your resume. They've got to happen. And this is where I'm going to say, go grab my 6-figure resume checklist. Don't stop. I think we had 300 people join. I just released it last week. 300 people already joined in. And Lafrage, I'm pretty sure I messed that up right now. I'm so sorry. He told me how to say his name. I'm pretty sure maybe it's Lafrage. I'm not sure exactly how to say it. And if you're watching, I'm really sorry, man. I didn't mean to mess it up. But second, he told me that with my tips this last week from when I just released it, he said, I got into the yes pile. I got 4 interviews. Do not stop. Go run and grab it. Okay. I'm amazed. Ron has got the right idea. He's saying I've been very specific. For looking at actual networking. We're going to talk about that actually was what you're doing. So that's amazing. Okay. So when I talk about showcasing your metrics, you need to show what you've accomplished in scope and impact. And really what we're looking for is how you made or saved money. And a lot of times people are like, I don't know how to do that. I didn't have metrics. And this is where I go, that's not six-figure worthy. So you either have to reframe that mindset and dig a little deeper, or you can still play the five-figure job game, and that's fine. I'm not here to help you with that piece. I'm helping you to jump over that gap. So what I want you to think, if you are putting on the hat of I'm a strategic player that makes or saves a company money, I need to think about how I helped a company be successful. And so things are like decreasing cost, increasing revenue, or improving a process, which typically both saves time and money. Okay. And that means that it can be a driver for both making and saving money. Okay. So, for example, a client of mine included on her resume implemented and managed a recruitment plan to source and recruit 40 employees within a 60 window due to a new contract award versus hired new employees. Okay. So that would be the example. So you want to make sure that you take this shift of being a strategic player to go from applying to dozens of jobs to netting multiple job offers. This is the huge change. And the difference between a five-figure resume and a six-figure resume is this one change. This is the change. Okay. So if you want to see if you're doing it right, go grab my checklist. The link is right there in the comments. Okay. All right. Now, next is I need you to be on LinkedIn. If you are watching me from LinkedIn, congratulations. You are my people. I just celebrated my 40th birthday. I've officially been 40 for a week. And I started building LinkedIn, my LinkedIn, when I was 22 years old. So my LinkedIn will celebrate their 18-year anniversary here in June. 18 years I've been on LinkedIn, and it has literally made me millions of dollars, okay, between all the opportunities and me running my business. I cannot tell you this. So when people are like, I don't want to be on social, it's like saying, I don't want to network. And I'm like, networking and understanding that this is the way that we need to operate today. You can literally go to a 24/7 networking party with over 500 million people anytime you want by joining LinkedIn. Okay. And so right now, best practice in recruiting is to find people on LinkedIn. We actually would rather go find you and recruit you to come work for us because we know that those people are more successful, they stay longer, and they have a higher, they achieve what is called the S curve. They achieve proficiency faster. And so we'd rather do that than actually cold applying. Remember that rule number one, don't cold apply. We want you to use a LinkedIn, okay? And so how I know if you are on the right path with your LinkedIn is if you are getting opportunities that are within your dream job zone, meaning the right opportunity, the right salary, and the right title, you're getting that proactively without doing the work. Okay. Literally, this is how I would source candidates. And it's also how I haven't looked for a job since 2007. Okay. I can tell you as a former recruiter, I wasn't waiting on you to happen across the perfect job. I wasn't waiting. I would go out and find you. Okay. So how do you do this? 90% of the time, I was going to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the gold standard. There's other ways we do it, especially on technical roles. But in general, I'm going to find you on LinkedIn. So if you go Google your name right now, you're going to find that your top 3 search results usually are your name, unless you have a very common name. But if you go Google me, you'll find it, and it's the number 1, even though I own 20 or so domains inside of my company. Okay. So sophisticated hiring teams are using LinkedIn. And if you're joining me live, say hi. If you're joining me live, say hi. If you're joining me on the replay, say hashtag team replay. And I love to see you here. Okay. So how can you use LinkedIn? Well, there's 5 really key areas to optimize. The first one is having a profile photo. People don't want to do this sometimes. It's like saying, I don't want people to see my resume. Okay. Hopefully you get that your LinkedIn is now your new resume. So you need to lean in that you'll need to be seen. Hi. Hi from Facebook. It doesn't tell me who your name is. So hi, thanks for tuning in. And so when you are wanting to get your noticed, you want to have a profile photo. People are like, oh, that will create bias. And to be honest, you might be right, but you can have 20 more times more viewing if you have a profile photo. So maybe those couple of times where they get biased will mean that you have. Would you rather have 1 view or 21 views, right? Would you rather have 100 views or 2,100 views? The bias is actually a detractor for you having momentum, the belief around the bias. Okay. I actually, I get really excited when, when people start following the process of really upgrading their LinkedIn, because I had one person who went through this process and he literally got 3 job offers. So when I go through this, like I'm talking about the most powerful things you do, quantify your impact, make sure your LinkedIn shows the results. You're going to start seeing more results. Okay. Next here is having a cover photo. That's that cover that goes right behind. It's a photo that goes right behind your head on your LinkedIn. It's just a way to stand away from the crowd. So, and a key way to increase your branding narrative. And then your headline. Okay. So this is what we search on. Make sure it's optimized. It shouldn't be just job at company. That's default. It shows that you're not updating it. It's just by what gives you by default. And if you live by default, right, you can't actually have a life unlike anyone else. So go call out what you're looking for, what you're trying to target. Take a look at mine if you want some examples, okay? And then having a good summary. So that's the very top of your page. And there's something called the fold, which is when somebody has to scroll past to see your resume on your LinkedIn. And so we want them to go past that. How they're going to do that is making sure your LinkedIn summary is optimized. Here's the secret, guys. It should be very similar to your resume. If you're not sure how to write your resume, go ahead and grab that checklist. Like, don't walk, run. 4 interviews last week from somebody who picked it up early in the week. Okay. All right. Now, next is keep in mind that LinkedIn is your new resume, okay? So you want to make sure that this is also updated with your experience. And so your experience, and you can just write your resume, really high, powerful, high performance. We call it $1 million impact resume. When you do that, then you can cascade those changes to your LinkedIn. You'll start to see more results immediately, okay? Now, tip number 4 basically is to build a personal brand. Okay. Now, if you're watching me, hopefully you maybe know me or you've seen me before, or if you're catching me, this is your first time. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. I'm here to hopefully change your life. Okay. And so I know that there are people who are solely landing jobs right now because of their brand. They're solely landing opportunities because of their brand. Okay. So the personal brand is one of the most efficient skill sets of any executive. That's actually determined, but it's definitely deficient in every job seeker. Okay. So the best way you can do that is be here on the platform, be on LinkedIn, share your thoughts, your expertise, your authority. Okay. And when you have enough of that brand, that's when people want to reach out to you. That's when people naturally want to meet you. They want to have virtual coffees. If you want to open up networking where it becomes super easy, you need a brand, because otherwise it's like, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do me a favor? Which is basically like, it's like panhandling for jobs is what I call it. So I can't tell you, as much as I've been posting this last week, they're like, please, can you find me a job? Can you do this? No, I can't do that for you. The only person who can save you is you. Take these tips and run with it. Okay. Invite people to go to a virtual coffee, get to know them, and don't ask them for a handout. Build rapport, build a relationship. Okay. Hashtag relationship building all the way. And don't spam somebody and ask, like me, hey, can you help me find the job? The answer is no. The only person who can help you find a job is you. What you can do, however, is help yourself open doors by building relationships, AKA your personal brand. Okay. Now, I want you to get past networking. Okay. Networking is such a dangerous topic because it assumes, like, hey, I showed up, here's my business card, you owe me something. Nobody owes you a thing. Okay. So when I think about networking, I want you to think about, it's the new relation, or new vernacular should be relationship building. I'm building relationship. You cannot get anywhere in life without other people. I had somebody once argue with me about this, and I'm like, that is the most like ignorant thing I have ever heard from somebody about networking. There's somebody is going to make a decision to open a door. Somebody's going to give you a job offer. Somebody's going to take a chance on you. You better believe that people are your secret to getting that. So building relationships ultimately begins actually with not just your current network, but extending it. Did you know that you're more likely to get a job opportunity from your weak ties or new network? That's what research has shown, than the people you know. So you cannot do this just from the people that you know closely. You can't go to your people that you know or that are your best friends, say, hey, can you help me find a job? They are not likely the ones who are going to open a door. So you need to make sure that you're expanding your reach and really networking. Okay. Now, when it comes to relationship building, it's so important to not ask for handouts and to build rapport. Okay. And so that panhandling approach, the results are lackluster, or it'll get you like burned bridges. Okay. So you need to make sure that when you think about the relationships that I've built both in my career and even some of my best friends I have met on LinkedIn, I've never actually even seen their feet, but they're some of my best friends. I met them right here on the platform. So don't overcomplicate this, because if you follow these 5 tips, and I'll repeat them for you. The first one is not applying cold to jobs, because it's a less than 1% chance of successful. Metrics are critical for your resume. Increases your likelihood of getting an offer at the 6-figure level by 40%. Okay. And then making sure you're on LinkedIn. That's tip number 3. And then number 4 is building a personal brand. Okay. And number 5 is stop networking and start thinking about building relationships. This will absolutely transform your job search. Now, if you are ready to land your next 6-figure job, or maybe your first, I encourage you to go grab the free checklist. Now, when I got this request from Business Insider to write an article, I was like, I can't just write the article because if this is the problem, I need to help you stand apart from the crowd. And so that's why I created this checklist. I literally had to build everything behind the scenes in order to do that. It's not just a checklist, it's me walking you through the checklist and helping you understand exactly what I mean by what kind of font you need, what kind of format you need, what kind of margins you need. All the basics are inside of there. So go grab the 5-minute 6-figure resume checklist, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.